The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
The two-man power trip of wrestling. I am your host, JP Jon Poz, and this is a very special Jon Poz versus right here on Vince Russo's The Brand. We have the man that is the host of the Mike Durband Show. He also is the heart and soul of Get My Go. He's a podcast host, producer, musician, engineer, whatever you want to say. He is Mr. Mike Durband. Mike, welcome back to the show. How you doing today, sir?
John, thank you so much for having me back. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Now, I feel like you are, I want to say controversial, but in the midst of some controversy as of late, I just want to get on this right away because Josephine sent me something from Mr. John Wanglin about how he supposedly was dead or a death hoax of some sort.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? This is like kind of lame. This is kind of weird. But I thought this was a while ago because I remember hearing on Get My Go, but then it kind of resurfaced again because of a tribute video. What is the latest here? And what do you have to do with it?
I didn't know I had anything to do with it at all, but from the text that I saw in that video, apparently I had something to do with it. So on December 27th of 2020, 2 days after Christmas, I got a text message, and I'll tell you the number, where I'll tell you, I don't know, whatever it was.
It was a Virginia number. I think Jeff the plumber, somebody revealed it was like, this is a Virginia number and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a Virginia number, and then me and Joe got the text about the same time, and I think Joe posted in our group chat screenshot of it, and then I was like, "Yo, I just got the same kind of text." Nobody else did. Rob didn't get it. Husey, nobody has Husey's number anyway. So me and Joe were the only ones. So we're like, this is really odd. It kept going. Like I think we each got like 5 or 6 texts from this person. And it said, I heard that John Wanglin died or something like that. I mean, I can read it to you. Did you see it?
Yes. It's just very weird. Like, why did the person write it? Is this a burner account? Is it a real person? Is it a girlfriend, a wife, a friend? Who is this?
Yeah. It said it was about 6:30 p.m. Just heard that John Wanglin died. And then that was the first one. I was like, it's possible. I mean, anybody can die, especially now, with COVID and everything. It's possible. So when you first see that, you're like, oh, you don't doubt it. You're like, oh, what's going on here? And then the second one was, is it true or a rumor? I'm like, how would I know that? 2 hours later, it was a rumor. John is alive. And I'm like, okay. And then the next one said, pretty sure John started it himself. Now, this person texted me that he thinks John started it himself. But yet, the same phone number text John. And it said, John, are you okay? There is a rumor going around that you passed away. John asks, may I ask who this is, please? The person says, and the name is redacted, blank from Wrestling Inc. After that, it says Mike Durband posted something. Okay. No, I didn't post anything. We were no-selling it because we knew it was bullshit. In our group chat, we're like, yeah, we're not going to comment on this. This is bizarre. We're not going to even have anything to do with this. So this person told John that I posted something, which did not happen. Then John asks the person to send them a link to the whatever it was.
Wow.
So I never saw that text until this week. We said amongst ourselves, we're like, all right, we're not going to mention this. This is stupid. It's kind of, sick too.
Yeah.
Whoever was behind it, it's kind of fucked up. So we didn't mention it until Brother Martin mentioned it. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, he made a joke about how Christ rose from the dead. And so did John Wanglin. The funny thing was, John and Martin both said that that Jesus rose from the dead on Christmas. Now, as anyone with any kind of knowledge about Christianity or any world religions, you're going to know that the man Jesus Christ was born on Christmas. He didn't rise from the dead on Christmas, right? He rose from the dead supposedly on Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I mean, these two guys that claim that they're a pastor and a, what's the other one?
Minister.
Minister, exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All these titles mean nothing, but
Yes.
that's what they claim that they are. You know, Martin claims that he is a youth minister. I don't think so. But it's just funny how both of these guys thought that Jesus rose on Christmas. So they mentioned it. So then that gave us the opening to comment on it on our next show, which we did. Said how stupid it was and how messed up it was to do that. That was probably in January. Maybe, yeah, it was January. Then last week, the video that you saw it, right? You saw the whole thing? Yeah.
Yes.
I first was made aware of it by Big Josh Hinkle. He told me about it. He's like, you got to watch this video. And then Dean told me I got to watch it. So I watched it. They do their live stream very late at night, sometimes midnight, 1 a.m. I'm in bed at 10 o'clock. I get up. I have a normal job. I get up early for work. I don't collect shopping carts at Walmart. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So I go to bed early. I never am able to catch their live stream. So I watched the video. It was at the start of the show, I think. And it was like, yeah, it was a bizarre montage of photos of John, some of John in his uniform, military uniform. There was a picture of him in a parking garage with Dean Ambrose. Did you see that one?
Yeah. Weird. Where did that come from? Yeah.
John Moxley, he chased him down into an underground parking garage to get a picture with him, which is funny because right when I saw that, I was like, AJ Lee in her book, she mentions how creepy wrestling fans would follow her into parking garages to get autographs and pictures and stuff like that. So, guys, don't do that. Okay. Don't follow people into a dark parking garage. Let the wrestlers be. Okay. So yeah, just a very strange video. I encourage everybody to watch it. You can go to the Wrestling with Reality Facebook page, whatever episode they did this week, you can see for yourself.
So who's the person from Wrestling Inc. or why did they use Wrestling Inc. and then like to say you did, to say you said something. So that's kind of fishy too.
Yeah. We didn't mention Wrestling Inc. I don't think John has anybody connections at Wrestling Inc. I've never heard of anybody mentioning Wrestling Inc. before. But that's what this person says in the text. It's whoever from Wrestling Inc. So yeah, I don't know what that means.
Is he big news where he's going to be on Wrestling Inc.? Like Jim Crockett Jr. passes away, and then it's like John Wangland of Wrestling Reality passed away.
We thought maybe John was behind it, but thinking more about it, I don't think so. I think he's making something out of it. He's making a big joke out of it.
Whoever it is has all your phone numbers.
You're very smart, John. Yeah. Because that's what me and Joe said to each other that night. We said we were trying to think who amongst everybody has my phone number and Joe's phone number.
Right.
Okay. So it's a very small group of people that have both. John has both of our numbers. But again, I don't think John had anything to do with it. So I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't think so. There is another individual that has both of our phone numbers. I will not comment on that right now.
Oh, is there a little investigation going on?
There's something that happened in the last few weeks that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Now, is this a real phone number or is this some sort of burner phone number or you don't even know?
That's the other thing is that I'm going to show you this, John. Back when I was on the brand, probably over 2 years now, I got my fair share of hate and trolls and all that stuff. There was a person who, the first time this person texted me, I don't know how they got my number. They texted me on December 1st of 2018.
Wow.
Yeah. It was back before the Mike Durband show. It was when I was doing Venom Vinyl with Vince Russo. I got a text that said, "Venom Vinyl sucks anyways, bro." And I'm like, I don't even know, what that's about. Oh, no. The first text I ever got from the person, it was a text to me and Vince Russo. It was a group text from this person to me and Vince. And it says, "Mike, why did you sell me a bullshit number that wasn't Vince Russo's? Fire Mike Durband. Venom Vinyl sucks anyway, bro." So this person was trying to insinuate that I sold him Vince Russo's phone number.
Interesting. That's weird.
Yeah.
I remember at one point Vince had changed his number because people were bothering him. Yeah.
He did. He blamed me. He publicly.
Yes.
He made me the scapegoat because it was funny. Because he
Yeah.
said, you know, I texted him when he was at the post office or something like that. So he made it seem like that was the reason he changed his phone number. He told me privately that it was someone else was taking advantage of it. He didn't want to name that person. So I know who it is.
How did they get your number though?
The person who texted me, I don't know. That I have no idea.
That's insane. Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So
And they already had Vince's number, and they text you, and then they text you guys together. That's odd.
he was trying to get me in trouble with Vince. He wanted Vince to think that I'm giving out his phone number. Here's what Vince did that I told him he shouldn't do this, but back when I don't think it was Patreon. Maybe it was the start of the Patreon, but he was saying, you know, join and I'll call you. You'll get a 5 to 10 minute phone call. So when he was calling people, he was calling them without pushing *67. So everybody he called, they had his phone number. I mean, it could have been 50 or 100 people that had his phone number at that time. So I told him, don't do that. You gotta do *67. He's like, bro, I don't know what that means. And I'm like, that's how you block your number, you know, so people don't get it. So
yeah, it'll come up. I don't know, whatever it's his private number or whatever it comes up as.
Yeah. So anyway, the same person proceeds to text me. You can see this. It's
a lot of texts.
I
Yeah.
saved them all. You know, there are, and the funny thing is, it was from a different number every time, which means that it's you know, there are apps where you can generate a fake number to call and text people from.
Yep.
Obviously, that's what the person was using because I could tell the way the person texted and typed and all that it was the same person. So, and it was always the same kind of things. And yeah, that went on for 2 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And they're obsessed with Venom vinyl.
At the beginning. It was my show. Then it was he would praise my show and then then he would, I don't know if it's I'm sure it was, but negative comments. And then eventually they were like, oh, I'm bipolar. I'm sorry that I do this. You know, they would apologize to me. And then, you know, a week later I get, you know, hate texts, you know? So I don't know. I was thinking in the beginning, I'm like, maybe that's this person again, texting me and Joe. But then I was like, how would they get Joe's number? Joe's number is not public, you know?
Right. Yep.
I don't think he's ever put it out there, you know? So I don't know. You never know. I think we'll never find out who did this, you know?
Weird. One of those mysteries of life. And you're right there in the thick of it. And for some reason, getting blamed for it. Odd. Very odd.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very odd. So
a lot of controversy for you, I feel like, this week, because there's another bit of controversy I wanted to get into, which is funny. I originally didn't even plan on talking about it, or it wasn't even on the docket to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the tribute thing first. But so you have, or maybe not, maybe it's not you, but you guys have created a Get My Go, I guess, spin-off show, you could say. I got a few messages from just some random people saying that it was too soon. You jumped the gun on it, but is this your show? Did you create it, or is it not your show?
I'm as shocked as you are. I didn't know anything about it. Rad Rob, he said that he and Chad were going to do they were going to review another of the Wrestling with Reality Superstars show, you know, the WWF Superstar show.
Yes.
Which we've done. I think we've done one or two of them on Get My Go. I forget how many. I don't think we did many of them, but he said that him and Chad were going to do another one on Monday night. And I was like, oh, if you guys want, I'm available. So we did it Monday night. It was brutal. It was very hard. And I'm sure Chad will tell you, it was very rough to do. Joe Feeney came on at the end and brought us back to life, but it was a long, arduous recording session. So I thought Rob was going to use it for his show. Right. And then he asked me if I could put it up on the Get My Go YouTube, and I said sure. You know, I'll put anything up there if anybody wants to submit anything. I'll put it up. You know, I'll put it on the YouTube. I don't care. I guess Rob, I don't know. He wanted to call it Get My Go or GMG Superstar Sessions. So I guess it's a spinoff.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, though. He's not on Get My Go, though. I mean, it's Durband, Feeney, and Husey. So what's going on with that? What's up with that? Was this a...
You'd have to ask Rob. I don't know. I mean, hey, I appreciate it, you know, because it gives me an extra week where I don't have to finish the episode I'm working on now. Because the one I'm working on right now, it was a 2.5 hour long recording session of
Jesus.
of one of Brother Martin's late night inspired shows. So it was me, Joe, and Husey on this one, and we went 2.5 hours on it. So it's
Wow.
just looking at it in Final Cut Pro, just looking at it, it makes me not want to work on it because the file is so big, you know. So yeah, Rob did me a favor. We released the one episode yesterday, and then part 2 will come out this Saturday, so I don't have to release anything. So
Now, is there any heat there? Because technically Rob's not a part of Get My Go, or is this you're happy with it because you get maybe take a week off, relax?
yeah, there's no heat. I don't I don't have heat with the majority of people. So no. I've
Do you
heard
think it's
comments, but
oh yeah,
there's no
what have you heard? Yeah.
Well, I like you said, is it too soon, you know, for the
Yep.
spinoff? Maybe it is too soon for a spinoff, but you know, it is what it is. It helps me. So at this point, I am in favor of it.
Nice. Have you gotten any flack from Husey and Feeney about it?
Husey actually said it was one of the best episodes that he's seen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, Husey really put over Chad's contributions to it. He said he didn't know Chad was that funny, which he is. Chad was on fire that night. You know, Chad was really very funny. So I'm sure you know that. You've known him for how many
Mhm.
years? 20 years or so. So
Mhm.
yeah. You know, Husey's probably the most quick-witted mind comedy-wise that we know, but
Yeah.
Chad is right up there. I mean, some of the shit that he said the other night, oh man.
And
Gotta
Husey's impressions are quite good as well.
Yes. It's amazing that he's sometimes they're not dead on, but they're more funny. It's more funny
Yeah.
that, you know, his impression of John it doesn't sound that much like John, but it's probably more funny that way. So
Will you continue to do spin-offs of Get My Go?
I will continue to accept any contributions that various people want to make. Put it that way.
Nice.
I have no problem with it.
Do you have any problem with them covering shows that they're not familiar with? Like, meaning John and Brother Martin. Like, are you okay with them? Is that good for you? Bad for you? Like, what are your thoughts?
It is good for us because it wouldn't be as funny if they went on there, you know, like you and Chad, if you guys were to do something, you guys would do your research, you know. You and Chad and a guy like Conrad who has a team working for him, you
Mhm.
guys just don't turn the microphone on and start bullshitting, you know, spitting out, you know, 85% inaccuracies. You guys are going to do your homework and you're going to sound professional and you're going to say accurate things, you know. So it wouldn't be funny if they did that. It's more funny for us if they go on there, they say what they say.
I feel like sometimes, not that they're not fans, but it almost comes off like this is definitely the first time that they're either seeing or hearing of some of these shows. Because I was like, wait, how are they not familiar with some of these guys? Like, oh shit, look at Nails. Like, he's like, come on.
Yeah. Well, you know, Brother Martin was born in 88, so he's 10 years
Oh,
younger
he's
than
young.
me. Yeah, he's
He's
young.
young.
He looks like a 50-year-old withered old man, yeah. But he's actually a lot younger than he looks. He is probably 32. So he said that he started watching wrestling in 97. So I guarantee he never saw any of these superstars before because
Right.
they were just put on the network a few months ago. So he didn't see these when they were on live as a child like we did, you know.
Yep.
So and John, you know, John always says that he was a fan like back in WrestleMania 4 in that era. That's when he started, but there's some shit that he says where I'm like, dude, are you serious? You didn't know that? You know? So who
Yeah,
knows what to believe?
I guess it's good for the show, though, right?
Oh yeah,
It is,
definitely.
I mean, it is great. It's like, oh shit, Macho Man won the title WrestleMania 4. Oh shit! Whoa, look
Yeah.
at this tournament. Yeah,
Yeah. And they say it with such conviction too. That's the funny thing. And like they'll say something and then never ever do they correct each other. You know, they're
right.
always in a you know, and I'm sure Chad knows because Chad has a legitimate radio history. Point counterpoint is, you know, that's more interesting, right?
Hmm.
Like if you have two guys that are of the same opinion on everything and you put them on a talk radio show, it's not interesting. It's more interesting when they have different opinions, especially
Mike and the Mad Dog style.
Yeah,
Yep.
like sports radio. It's they
Yep.
if you have two Bears fans on the Chicago sports talk, and they're both saying the same thing, it's not interesting. You got to have two opinions, and these guys are of the same mind. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's no good.
I do have a great quote from Yuzi, kind of ripping Joe Feeney. I don't know if you want to hear it or not, though.
I would love to hear it.
So he said, and I quote, maybe I'm getting a little off, but this is almost the exact thing. If we were to replace Joe Feeney with Corey Ryan, we wouldn't skip a beat. I don't know if he was joking or serious.
Wow. Did Husey make that statement publicly, or is that a
No. Private statement. Private.
At this point now, I think the show is strong enough that you could take out certain parts and replace them for a show or two, and I think the level will always be high. Like Rob is going to do another Superstars recording next week. I told him, I'm like, I don't know, I'm not available this night, but I'm available this night. He said he wanted to make sure at least one of the three originals was on it, me, Joe, or Husey. And I was like, you know what? I don't mind if there isn't, doesn't matter to me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. So Rob is free to do whatever he wants. He can have whoever he wants on the show. I thought he did a great job editing in the video. He did it a lot faster than I could have. I'm taking forever these days, but Rob had it done, I think, the next day.
He's getting good over there with his video editing. He's got the voice, he's got that voice going. You got to love that.
Yeah. Again, you can take out whoever you want. You can insert anybody. I've been on every episode. Joe, I think, missed 2, maybe. You can put anybody in there now. And as long as I'm editing it, I think I can make it great, no matter who's on there. Because, this shit kind of writes itself. Like, if you play one of their videos and you have anybody on there, I think you could take anybody that was on our Christmas party call. You were on there too. There was like 15 guys on there. I think you can take 3 or 4 out of that entire group, put them on a show. And if I edit it, I think it'll come out just as good.
I always feel like John Wanglin, and correct me if I'm wrong here, always takes cheap shots at Rob, just little ones. Forget which one I was listening to. He's like, oh yeah, just like Francois, like, why is that? I know they used to be buddies, but it feels like he gets like a lot of little jabs over and over and over.
Yeah, Rob gets jabs from both of them. He and John were business partners pretty much. Rob was a co-owner of the Reality Check podcast network. So, then he's not anymore. So I'm sure there's heat, Martin takes a lot of shots at Rob too. He makes fun of Rob's weight. And I'm like, Martin, you're not a great physical specimen yourself. So don't,
Right.
Keep your mouth shut, dude. Brother Martin is a guy that has no sense of self-awareness. He the shots that he takes at various people, I'm like, this applies to you more so than the person you're trying to attack,
Yep. What about, and I mentioned him briefly, Corey effing Ryan? How did that happen? Because I feel like he was just on. I was mentioning this to Feeney, obviously, as well. I feel like he was literally just on with John. Maybe I'm wrong on the timing, but man, like, you blink your eye and he's gone and you've got him on. How did that happen?
I think there was a big gap of time where he wasn't on with John.
Okay.
John may have inserted one of Corey's segments that he did on his own. He may have put that in a show later on. I don't know. I don't remember the timing of all the stuff. It was at least a month or 2 where Corey was not heard on their shows at all. And then we had him on ours. So Corey's friend, Eli, his real life friend, Eli, I think he had a lot to do with showing Corey the light. And I know Dean, the Aussie guy, was involved in that. He speaks to Eli. So I don't know how it happened, but Corey saw the light.
How did it go down, though, as far as like him coming on Get My Go? Because I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, not shocking, but shocking.
Yeah,
you know what
it
I mean?
was shocking. Yeah. It was shocking to me. I mean, I think Corey had messaged me on Facebook or Instagram. I forget which one it was, but he messaged me and I think it was on a Saturday night late. might have seen it the next morning, but I was like, he said, "Hey, I want to come on, get my go and clear the air, or get my story out." I'm like, okay, you don't have to ask me twice. We'll do it. So I'm like, we got to get this guy on. I asked Husey and Joe, "Are you guys available?" Joe was, and then we had him on, and it was interesting.
How did he know like to contact you? Have you ever spoken to him before?
He Facebook called me. You can call somebody on Facebook like with a
Yep.
phone. Though maybe a month or two ago, I woke up in the morning on a weekend and I had like 4 2 a.m. phone calls on Facebook, missed call. I never knew why. I'm assuming it wasn't a good thing. He might have been angry. I think it was right after the episode 32 came out that he was on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was right after that. So he probably heard about it or maybe even listened to it, didn't like it, and then called me. And then, I didn't have any contact with him after that. Yeah, eventually he did. And we had him on.
Shocking babyface turn from Corey Ryan, because you thought that he was going to be the prodigy or the next kind of young guy, and he wasn't. What happened? I know he said that he recorded some stuff. He didn't like the way it sounded. John didn't really tell him, and then John didn't play it. He had the Shawn Michaels story, the Bret Hart story. You had your own Bret Hart story, which was greatly edited at the end of that episode. But yeah, what the hell happened? That's so funny. Like, I guess he recorded stuff, and John was like, "Yeah, this isn't good. I'm not going to play it."
He recorded a segment about the Undertaker's retirement at Survivor Series. John did not air that until another month. So I'm sure that caused some heat between them. A guy that calls himself Johnny Podcasting and has, 400 plus episodes in their catalog that they've done, you would think they had some knowledge. Like if you were just some kid off the street and you saw this guy and you heard his spiel that he gives, you would think this guy is the guru, and you would think he would help you and help you grow in podcasting and all that. And he didn't, according to Corey, he didn't help him. He didn't tell him what to do. He didn't tell him what not to do. As any young podcaster, they need guidance, and John did not offer that to him.
Are you going to be his mentor? Is he going to be your protege?
I'm not anybody to give advice to either. I'm not, Joe Feeney is a guy that if you want advice, hit up Joe Feeney. He knows everything. I'm not someone that's going to I'll give advice about video editing. Yeah, if anyone has any questions about that or Photoshop stuff, you can ask me and I'll help you out. But as far as podcasting, I don't know anything. I know how to edit a show. I think I'm pretty good at that. But as far as speaking and you're an interview expert. You can just take a look at your YouTube channel and, you are at the top of the game. So, I don't claim to be anywhere near that. So yeah, don't ask me about podcasting. Put it that way.
I want him to be a protege of one of you guys, though. I think that would be great. You kind of turn face and become the, Joe Feeney's protege. I think that'd be a kind of cool thing to have happen.
It could. Yeah, Joe. I mean, Joe Feeney has, it's not like he has, 10,000 other podcasts to produce. Joe Feeney has a lot of time. He has a lot of time to help young people. So,
yes.
Yeah. Anybody out there, if you're an aspiring podcaster, hit up at JFeeney3RD, and he would be very happy to help you out.
I like that. A little plug for him. Yes, definitely hit him up. Creative Control. They could use, an extra hand, and he'll guide them. I think that'd be great. Will he return to the show though, Corey F. and Ryan?
I would have him on, sure. Yeah. We message on Instagram, every few days.
So, and I know Brother Eli has been helping you guys out, right? He's been giving you guys some graphics and stuff.
Brother Eli, yeah, Eli's a great graphic artist. So, he's quick too. John put out a new logo, and then within minutes, Eli had sent us "Forget My Go" of the same quality.
Yeah.
Very funny though. I mean, like the funny thing was, John had a new logo for their Facebook page, and it was Wrestling with Reality and then it was a waveform in the background, and then an old-fashioned microphone.
Yep.
And it's funny for two reasons. Number one, they don't know how to edit anything, John and them. So I doubt that they've even looked at a waveform. You know, that's what you a waveform is what you see when you're editing in a program. It's like, you know, on a heartbeat monitor, you know, that line that goes up and down. The waveform's kind of like that, but it's the visual representation of a vocal track or a music track. So I know that those guys don't know how to edit to save their life. So there's no way they have any idea what a waveform is. And then the microphone, you know, you can look at John on his Facebook Lives now. You can actually see him, and you can see him on the Royal Ramble. He's shouting into a laptop. He doesn't even have a microphone. Brother Martin has a microphone now. He has a headset like the one you're wearing.
Nice.
Yeah. So after 3 years, Brother Martin finally stepped his game up. He doesn't have a computer yet, but he does have a headset. And I will give him credit. Brother Martin, his audio sounds a lot better now. So I'll give him that credit. Visually, though, he looks like he's going downhill fast. I mean, he looks like on the newest one, he looks like he hasn't seen a bar of soap in 3 weeks. You know, woke up in the alley. His hair's all disheveled and greasy looking. He's looking rough. So, Brother Martin, I don't know what's going on with you. You're on video now, man. So you may want to, you know, keep that in your mind.
Why the name change, though? Like, I know it's back to the original name, but is there any thought process behind that? Or we have no idea?
We have a theory, and we all had the same theory. They had been mentioning for a couple months now. Their Facebook page has always been Wrestling with Reality. Then they, you know, of course, everybody knows they changed their name to Cheap Heat and Cheap Pops, 5-6 months ago. They never changed the Facebook. And then now that they started using it again frequently for the past 2 months, for some reason, it never became Cheap Heat and Cheap Pops. And they would make excuses. They'd be like, yeah, we're just still waiting for Facebook to change it over. It never happened. So then, you know, about a week ago, they had a new logo, and it was back to Wrestling with Reality. Their podcast feed said Wrestling with Reality and had the Wrestling with Reality logo on it. So Cheap Heat, Cheap Pops is no more, I guess, for now. And their Twitter changed. It's no longer at
Hard to,
I can't even say it without laughing because I always think of like Dean doing his thing with it. It's at CH Heat Pops. That's what it was. Now it's like at WWR Podcast 607 or something like that. They never choose anything that you can remember easily.
It's just interesting. Like, you had that one name, then you changed it, then you changed it back to the original name. I wonder if that will confuse the audience at all.
John, what audience is that? The audience is us. We're the audience, you know.
I thought you might say, well, maybe he's trying to confuse you guys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's doing a good job of it because we didn't know that he was live streaming on Facebook for at least 3 weeks. You know, we didn't know about it. I think Big Josh Hinkle smartened us up on that one. Wow. We had no clue because Brother Martin has blocked me on Facebook. He's had me blocked for months now. So, you know, if he shared it on his page, I wouldn't have seen it. None of us knew.
You guys were somewhat friendly. I guess not.
We haven't been friendly since probably before Christmas.
Because I remember the last time we recorded, you said like, "Oh, look, he's sending me a text or calling you or something." Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've always, for the past 2 years or so, we've always been on and off. Bipolar. I don't know. I don't want to make any kind of, you know, he said it publicly, so that's probably what it is. But yeah, I mean, there'll be weeks at a time where he would call me. I mean, I used to talk with him on the phone for like an hour every few days. You know, it would just him rambling. For some reason, he would, you know, block me on Twitter, and then I don't hear from him for a couple months, and then it would go back again. It's a very strange cycle. Yeah, but for a while, it's been off, we'll say.
Gotcha. As far as kind of expanding the Get My Go universe, are you going to expand it any further, you think? What's going on here?
I'm open to anything, you know. Somebody said it on a show a couple weeks ago. I think it might have been Joe. Maybe it was on your show. But we didn't know what we were doing at first. Like, we just did it for fun, you know, the first show, then the second show, just to make ourselves laugh, you know, and it just grew and grew and grew. So Who knows? It may morph into something else. We don't know. I want to do other stuff. Like I have. Have you heard of that guy wrestling Otaku?
I don't know why it doesn't ring a bell. Not sure.
Okay. Have you heard of Girl on Cinema? It's the girl that got into it with Tony Khan today.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I've been aware of her now for about a month or two. She is amazing. Check out Girl on Cinema on all platforms, especially the YouTube. She is this young, hilarious girl. She's so funny. And she's quick-witted, just very, very quick. She's not reading it off a prompt or anything. Like you can tell it's off the top of her head. And she reviews wrestling shows. She reviews movies and stuff like that. So attacked who first, but he's the stereotypical AEW mark, overweight. He's got the AEW shirt on all the time. He's probably got a neck beard, just poor hygiene. He records his YouTube videos in a park, very strange. So, yeah, wrestling otaku. Check him out. Otaku. Everybody look at that, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. They got into a feud a few months ago. The otaku guy, he put out a video maybe a month ago, and it was like the top 10 reasons why today's women are pieces of trash or something like that. And it's a very misogynistic list of why he hates women. I watched it and I'm like, this is amazing. We have to do this on Get My Go. Like, I want to review this. And I clipped it. I wanted to do it. I asked Felicia Rose to do it. Couldn't get our schedules lined up. She would have been perfect. She would have torn this guy apart. I messaged the Girl on Cinema about a month ago, but never heard back from her. I'll do it with anybody. But I wanted a female on with us.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's attacking women, and I want any woman to come on and watch it with us and give their opinions. So I want to do stuff like that. I want to branch out, but we'll never get away from wrestling with reality. Because as long as they keep putting stuff out, there's always stuff to do. But I want to diversify, put it that way.
But is there a part of you that's thinking it's like the NWO? You have the original guys.
Yeah.
I'd say Feeney's Scott Hall. I would say Hughesy's Kevin Nash, and you're like the Hulk Hogan. If you expand past those guys, it starts to get a little watered down. Like, you get that feeling it might get a little not as good as it once was. Maybe throwing Dean in there as like the Ted DiBiase. He's the the money man giving you the good stuff. But is it maybe expanding too much?
Dean, I will say this about Dean. He does more behind the scenes to help the show out than anybody. And it's been like that for a long time. Maybe since almost the beginning. But Dean has always sent me clips. He's sent me notes and things like that. So Dean is very, very influential and very important to Get My Go. So he's not. I wouldn't classify him as an NWO B team guy at all.
But DiBiase was one of the first guys in there. He was very integral. I love that. He was very important part of the team. He was basically the fourth guy, in the NWO, technically. Yeah. But I think he was great. But I'm saying, like, do you think that you might be doing too much? You think that you're breaking away from the originals? Is that a good thing? Sometimes, it could be, but you don't even know.
It hasn't been the three originals for a long time. Like, at some point months ago, Hughes made it known that he would not be on every show from now on, and I
can't handle it. He can't handle that guy.
Yeah. It's not easy. I like it. Like, I'll never get sick of it because it's fun to just, like Joe says, it's fun on a Saturday morning. We get on the call, we make each other laugh, and these guys supply us with laughs. So it's fun. It's not easy though. Trust me. It's not easy to have to think of things to comment on when they, these guys say the same shit, like from one Superstars episode to the next, vignettes and commercials that were repeated on both shows. These guys like said the same thing about it, So it's like, is the next one going to be the same thing? Like, what are they going to do? It's not like it's a Nitro where it's live every week and they were always doing different shit. Like, these Superstar shows were very canned, and a lot of the stuff was repeated, and it's mostly squash matches back then, right?
Yeah.
on Superstars. So, I
Yep.
mean, how entertaining is that? Can you do a weekly show on that? You know,
What was the thought process of doing, like, why did they select, just because it was new to the network, they thought that would be good?
anything that John does or has an idea to do, they'll do it, and it'll peter out. Like they'll lose steam or whatever. So back in the old days when it was John and Richie Reardon, they were doing a Nitro watch along. They started at the beginning. I think they started when Scott Hall jumped the fence, and then they got to like July or August, and then they stopped. They watched a month or two worth of shows. They stopped. Richie Reardon left for a while, gave birth to Get My Go. Then for some reason he went back to John at the end of last year. They did a handful of shows together, and they resumed their Nitro watch along. I think they may have done 3 or 4 episodes of it, and then Richie's gone again. I know that that John and Brother Martin did a couple of the Nitros. May have even been 5 or 6. I don't know. I lose track of what the order of stuff is. Like Dean's really good with keeping tabs on that. Joe has a really great memory too. Me, I don't remember any of it unless I have it documented and it's in a file. I don't know what's what. So they did the Nitro thing, then they lost steam on that, and they started doing these Superstars. So, and then they mentioned, I think last week, that they're going to do Nitro again next week. They always promise stuff that they're going to do, and then they never do it.
He is, I don't know, like maybe he's a little scatterbrained where he's thinking of stuff and doesn't want to do stuff. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm thinking like Dean for a second. He's great. He's hilarious. But how the hell does he know John? Like, how did those two get together? Because he's all the way in Australia.
Dean, I think he first came onto the scene back when Matt Kuhn was doing the show with Russo, Truth with Consequences.
Right.
Kuhn, for whatever reason, decided to turn. He did it to himself too. He turned like half of the brand against him. He attacked Jeff Lane, and then he had nothing nice to say about the brand. So probably the majority of the brand didn't like him. And then John capitalized on that. I don't know who came up with the idea, but Fat Kuhn was the Twitter account, the parody account.
Yeah.
And then John announced, I got Fat Kuhn coming on an episode. And I didn't know it was like a real guy. I just thought it was someone making a Twitter account. But then he was on one of their shows, and I think he was on a couple times. And he was very funny. He did a really funny voice. He was great. So I think that's how he got his start. And then I think they started doing, at some point, he shed the Fat Kuhn thing, and then he became his normal self, Dean the Aussie guy from Australia. And then they started doing the football show, and I was amazed with it. I listened to it a couple times back in the day when it was on, and I'm like, how does this Australian guy have such a deep knowledge of American football? I mean, he knew his shit, more than any of them, more than John did or whoever else was on the show. So yeah, Dean, I guess they had it on the cable, in Australia. So
my sister lives out there, and my brother-in-law, he loves American football. He's obsessed with the Giants. Obviously, the timing, like of when the games are on, are like, I think it's 12 hours ahead. I think they are. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's like he's watching the games at night. Like if you're watching them during the day or whatever it is, or he's watching the overnight. But yeah, he was obsessed with the Giants, or still is obsessed with the Giants. So yeah, I guess Australians, they love their American football.
Yeah. So yeah, Dean was with them for a while. I think he did a SmackDown show. I don't know if it was on Rob's show or one of John's, but he was involved in that for a while. And then, I think he just said, like, I don't like this. I don't like watching wrestling today, so he quit that. So I think he was off everything shortly after that.
Are you the guy recruiting the guys into Get My Go,
No.
or is it just
Not at all.
okay?
Popped up, or they wanted to come on, or they reached out through different people. Every story is different. Like
Yeah.
when Richie and Rob, pretty much started Get My Go with their bombshell announcement. Yeah, I think they contacted Joe first, and they wanted to come on a reality check. No, they wanted to come on a creative control show and tell their story. And Joe told me, and I was like, I'll have him on my show. I'll have, that sounds cool to me. Let's do it. So we did it on my show. They came on my show, and I think a week later, I think is when John did the goodbye episode. Oh, I love it. We're gonna do that one again.
Nice.
I think that's what we're doing, because when we did it for Get My Go, Joe slept late or something like that, or his cable didn't work. Joe made some excuse.
Yeah.
Maybe he had
Sleeping.
a candy dish party the night before.
Thought he was sleeping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he missed it. Me and Husey, stupidly, we did it without him. So we put that out, and then, but I said for episode 50, we're gonna do it with Joe. So
Nice.
that's something to look forward to.
Hopefully that lazy bastard makes it this time.
He
right?
better. No, if he doesn't make it, we're not going to do it. We have to do it. It's going to be us three doing it. But as far as recruiting, no, they have always come out, or not come out, but they've always, reached out through other people, and then it gets to me. I'm not going to say no. If anybody wants to come on, they can come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
More
Any
the merrier.
defectors want to come on the show, they can. More than welcome. Like I had,
feel like
even if it's like a very minor character, like this guy Matt Majeski. He was a guy that I think he did a Game of Thrones podcast with John, a handful of episodes.
yeah.
Back when that was on the air. I think this guy Matt did a couple shows with John on that, and then he had a segment on Wrestling with Reality, like a women's wrestling segment for a few times. So even if it's something small like that, I'll have them on. We're going to hear their story.
I remember talking to Yuzi a while ago, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Jon Snow was supposed to be doing a podcast with him," and I
He
didn't
said that.
realize it.
John said
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I didn't realize he had to get my throne. Get my Thrones. You're right. Game of Thrones podcast. So I was like, wait, he was going to be on a wrestling podcast. He's like, so we eventually figured out he had a Game of Thrones show. We had no idea. Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, they used to on their. I don't know if they had a feed back then. Maybe it wasn't all on one feed. I think they were all separate. Because Rad Rob, when he was with them, he had his own feed. Like his show would come out on his feed. It wouldn't come out on the Wrestling with Reality. I think. Maybe I'm mistaken, but John's feed back then, where every show that he was on, I think the Game of Thrones one came out on that.
How was he going to get Jon Snow?
Again, it's been said before, for something to happen, if John even has an idea, he'll talk about it like it happened. Like he said that, I think I mentioned this on your show last time. He mentioned, Jake the Snake.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. Like he told, he had Alicia Atut on his show, and I think he asked her, after the show, or maybe it was email probably, but he asked her if she wanted to do a show on his network, and just by doing that, he went and told a bunch of people that she was going to have a show on his network. So I think someone said that he reached out to like Jon Snow's agent or publicist or something,
okay.
asked him to come on. I'm sure they didn't even respond to it, but in his mind, Jon Snow's coming on his show.
Gotcha. I was gonna say that's a pretty big coup. That's a pretty big get there,
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I've met Jon Snow.
Really?
Yeah,
Comic-Con?
No, I did not pay to meet him either. I used to work at a hotel in Venice Beach in 2012 to 2014, and one day, he's a real small guy, right? Like I'm 5'7", and this guy walks in, and he's wearing like cowboy boots, with a huge heel on him, and he's like, we were looking eye to eye. So, and he's very tiny. He's like very, very slight, very, very thin guy. And he came up to me, asked me where the bathroom was, and he had the English accent. And I'm like, I knew right away. I'm like, this is Jon Snow. I didn't know his name though, right? I didn't know his real name, but he went to the bathroom. He came back, and I was like, what's his name? Do you know?
Kit Harington.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Kit, I'm a big fan. Can we get a picture? And he's like, sure. He was so nice. He was the nicest guy too. And yeah, I got a picture with him. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Look at that. You're actually meeting them, and somebody's attempting to have a show with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting away from Get My Go, which by the way is a very decent show. I know
That was so funny. No, what'd you say was you're like, it's a good show. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a decent show. It's all right. Yeah,
It is. It is. It's not a great
yeah,
show. It's
decent
decent. It's
show.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's
very
decent.
it's a niche product, and those who watch it, they love it. So yeah, it's decent.
It's like George Costanza says: if you take everything I've ever done in my whole life and you condense it into one day, it looks decent.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never seen an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, I can't believe that. Oh,
I think I may have seen one because I think I gave it a shot and I never wanted to watch again. I don't like it. I don't like that style of comedy. Now, on the other hand, I am the most fucking big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love that show. I've seen the whole series like 3 or 4 times, every episode. I love Larry David. I think he's probably the funniest guy in the world. Um, an actor and as a writer. I think he's so brilliant and funny. So I love Curb, but I just don't like Seinfeld at all.
George Costanza, the character on Seinfeld, is Larry David.
Yeah, I
Based on
know.
him. Yeah,
But
acts like him.
I don't like him though. Like I don't like George Costanza. I don't like the actor.
Wow, I can't
Ever
believe that.
since I
Yeah.
saw Pretty Woman and he tried
Mm.
to, rape the woman in the movie. I just don't like that guy. I don't like the look of him. I don't find him funny at all.
Did you like him on season 2 of Curb when he was on?
I didn't like him particularly, but I liked that season where they did the Seinfeld reunion. I loved it.
Was it season 7? I think it was. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
It was just I mean, who would think to do that in an entire season? Because they never will do the Seinfeld reunion, but they did it on the show.
Yep.
So it was actually better because it was 12 episodes of it,
Yeah,
So
hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah, Larry David is a genius. Early on, he does say that when he's talking to Elaine, when he's saying that they want to do that show, Aren't You Evelyn? Remember, he keeps screwing it up like ABC. He screws it up. He goes, "Oh, let's go to HBO." She's like, "HBO?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You could say." You double your laughs. He's trying to explain it to her. He said, he's such a great liar, like in a manipulator. I
Yeah.
love the shit that he says. He's the best, Larry David. That show is the best. Now, as far as the Mike Durband show, which we should have gotten to earlier, I apologize. We just keep talking GMG, but what is going on with you lately? I see Conan was on. That's pretty damn cool. Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I often forget that I have my own show. Like
I
it's
know.
just
Yeah.
it's like an afterthought at this point. I'm so invested in Get My Going. It takes up 95% of the time that I spend on podcasting and stuff like that. So
Did you tell Conan that literally Joe Feeney spends all of his time in Get My Go and doesn't pay enough attention to his show, or need to mention that?
Joe doesn't spend much time on Get My Go at all. He comes in, he does his thing, and he leaves.
Lazy fuck.
Yeah,
Oh man.
lazy,
Yeah.
fucking lazy, man. Yeah, he's too busy pretending he's reading all those books behind him on the shelf. He acts like he's a voracious reader, like Conan is. Yeah.
So how was Conan?
Well, the thing with Conan is we did that like around July last year, so it was so long ago that
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
we did it.
I
Yeah,
thought it was brand new. Okay. You finally got
no.
around to it.
Yeah. So we did it for the way I got him on is we said we'll use it for your Patreon and then my show. It wasn't like he's coming on my show like a regular guest would. Even though I've had Glenn on 3 times, for Conan it had to be for his Patreon and then for my show. So we did it. Conan always jokes how the luchadors are late. It's like in their blood. They're late
Right.
for everything. Like they were late in the
Yep.
morning to go catch the bus or whatever. He is late. He was late to my show. He said, I think he messaged me on a Friday morning. He's like, all right, tonight, 10 o'clock Central or whatever. So I'm like, oh wow, we're gonna do this. So I'm ready at 9:30. I got everything all set up and the songs are ready and my list is ready. We did the best top 5 Stevie Wonder songs. And then 10 o'clock comes. I send him the Zoom link, nothing. 10:30 again. Every half hour I'm sending him a link, nothing. It was like 12:30 in the morning. And I kept checking my email to see if he wrote back to me. It was 12:30. I'm like, I'm going to bed. He's not, he stood me up. So I take my dog out for the final time. I come back and there's a message, he replied, Are you there? Like he's angry that I'm not answering
Yeah.
him, you know?
2.5 hours later.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're 2.5 hours late. But
Yep.
so, I set everything back up and we did the show, and he was in Iran, he was obviously smoking. So he was in a really good mood. And I've seen that. I've seen him in that mood before on various Patreon watch-alongs and stuff like that. Him and Glenn will come on, and I've been on there a handful of times, and it's like, 3 or 4 other listeners of Keeping It 100. And dude, Glenn will do his thing and then he'll get off. Conan will stay on, and he will talk and talk and talk and talk. I don't know if it's because he's super high or what, and just chatty, but you can see Joe Feeney's got this glazed look on his face, like he just wants to go to bed. But Conan will not stop talking, and the fans that are in the call, they're going to keep going. They're going to keep coming up with questions and stuff like that. And that's the way it was when we did the Stevie Wonder list. Is he just kept talking, and I could tell he was having a great time just listening to the music and talking about it. So it came out really well. And we dropped it on their Patreon shortly after that. And I wanted some space between it. I didn't want to just put it out right away. And I saved it I wanted a nice round number to put it out. Like I think I had put out episode 51 or 52 of my show. I wanted to wait till like 60, like a nice round number. And, since I only do like one show a month, it took a long time to get to 60. So yeah, I finally dropped it, and got a great response for it. And yeah, it was cool.
Who picked Stevie Wonder, you or him?
I think I did. I think I gave him a few different options. I might have. And we did it. And then that was the first music list that he'd ever done. Like after we did that, me and him, then he did that on their Patreon with, I was on a few of them. I was on the Led Zeppelin one. I was on the Prince one. I wasn't on the Rolling Stones one, but they did, they've done like 5 different ones, different bands. So, but
you have an eclectic taste, it seems like.
Yeah, and you can hear that on the episode. I was sharing my screen, and he was looking through my iTunes, and he was impressed with what he saw. And he's like, oh, we could do that one. We could do the Beatles. We could do, Earth, Wind and Fire, stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty diverse.
Who thought of that idea of doing the top 5? You or Husey? Because I know Husey does the same thing.
Yeah, it was definitely. I can't take credit for that. That was definitely Husey's thing, but he ripped it off from somebody else.
Right.
And he said that before. I don't know who it was. Maybe some Irish or English guy that he ripped it off from. But Husey has made it famous. He used to do it on every episode. He used to do a music list somehow.
Yeah, he had me on talking AC/DC. I was loving it. Yeah, because he saw my poster, I guess, in the back. But I was like, oh yeah, it's like that's right. Yeah, I do have that poster back there. Yeah, so but that was cool. Fun experience to do.
I had a lot of heat with yours and his lists.
I figured you would. I tried to go as crazy as I could. I'm such a big fan of them that probably some people are like, what the fuck is that song? I never heard. Because I know Husey was like, what the hell is that song?
Yeah.
So some of my picks were a little crazy. I didn't pick any popular music. What would you pick?
I would only pick Bon Scott songs, number 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I would pick like let's see. I don't know if I could do a top 5 off the top of my head, but in my AC/DC playlist, I got like, I have some like Rocker, that song.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Jailbreak.
Awesome.
One of my favorites is Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? Yeah. You know that one?
Yes.
I just love that. It's like a real goofy riff, but it's cool. Little Lover, High Voltage.
Yeah.
Touch Too Much is another great one.
He picked that, Husey. That was one of the ones that he picked. Yep.
Yeah, and Shot Down in Flames. I know that's like overplayed now because I think it was in Iron Man. But that's a great one. Riff Raff.
Yes.
That's one of my top 3, I think. So, yeah.
Wait, you don't like Backseat Confidential, that random ass rare song that I picked from Bon Scott?
No, I don't have that. I'd probably know it if I heard it, but I'm not. It's not.
It's like on one of their rare tracks. It might have been on Bonfire too, because I know they put all. I think they put all of the songs on there.
Yeah.
What about Highway to Hell?
I mean, you can't pick that. It's so,
Overplayed, yeah.
yeah.
I've actually
That's what
heard.
John Wanglund did that. He was on Hughesy's show years ago, and he did a Kiss top 5, and John picked like all the ones, like that, the most
Rock and
generic
roll
Kiss.
all night. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout it out loud.
Yep.
So
Detroit Rock City. Although that is a great song.
Yeah, I'm sure that was on there.
Now, as far as kind of you doing your own show, you obviously you said you do it once in a while. Do you have other shows in the can? Do you have other shows you're going to do, or what's going on with the Mike Durband show?
Yeah, I have probably my favorite episode that I've ever done. The Conan one was a top favorite because I never thought I'd have him on. It's been a long running joke for like 2 years now, that Conan won't do any of our shows, but he was on my show. So, and we had a great time doing it. But the episode that I'm coming out with next in a couple of weeks, it's my favorite one I've ever done. I'm a huge Charlie Chaplin fan, and I have his grandson on my show.
Wow. Holy shit. Good get.
Yes. And the funny thing is, okay, Charlie Chaplin was born in 1889. When was, give me one of your grandfathers. What year were they born?
Ooh, I want to say 1922 or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, mine were born in the 30s, I think, maybe 29, maybe 1935. But this Charlie Chaplin was born in 1889. His grandson is younger than me. His grandson's like 30. Right? Now think about that. Think about that stretch.
Yeah.
Now, how is that possible, you say? Well, it's possible if Charlie Chaplin had 11 kids and he had his last one when he was like 72 years old. That's how it's possible.
Wow, Mick Jagger style. Wow.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, Mick Jagger is going to have a grandson in probably the year, his grandson will probably be alive in the year 2090, whatever it is.
Yeah, yep.
So, yeah, this guy, Spencer Chaplin, he is the grandson. So, and he's I think he's 30 years old, 32 maybe. But he's a musician, so I think that's how I was able to connect with him easier. He's not like he's just some guy. Like, he's a musician. He came out right after COVID. I think he started a show called Chaplin Talks. It's a YouTube show, and he's had actors, musicians. He's had some people on that, and they talk about how Charlie Chaplin influenced their whatever art they're into, whether it's a fashion designer or an orchestra, musician, things like that. Season 2, he's going to have Tito Jackson on there. That's the first episode. Whoa. We all know that Michael Jackson well, maybe we don't all know that, but Michael Jackson was a major Charlie Chaplin fan. So he visited Charlie's widow in the 80s, I think, a few times. So Tito Jackson will be on that show.
Was Tito older or younger than Michael?
I think he was older. I think Michael was the youngest boy, I think. Yeah, because he was always the littlest one.
Yeah, okay. It would make sense. Man, you're getting some unique guests there. Yeah. I mean, that's like really like random, but I love those. Those are like the best when it's like, wow, I didn't even think about that. Like, wow.
Yeah, I can't really have wrestlers on because it's all been said, like every question's been asked. You and Chad, you guys are two of the best at it, so I'm sure there's always stuff that you can think of and in that realm. But I can't, like, I had Disco Inferno on 3 times. I can't think of a wrestling question to ask the guy, that he hasn't talked about already. So if I have wrestlers on, I'll ask them other stuff. Like I had Shane Helms on. I'll talk about comic books the whole time. Disco, I've talked to about various things. I think I did talk to him about women's wrestling for one show, but it's a more narrow topic. Like I'm not going to ask Disco Inferno about Nitro in 1998. What am I going to ask him?
So are you not much of a mark though, quote unquote mark? Are you not that much big of a wrestling fan, or kind of?
I am a mark for a certain era. Well, 2 eras actually. Like let's say 86 to 90 is my first era. That I mean, even now I'll go back and I'll watch all that stuff and I love it to this day. And then I'll watch 97 to, I forgot when I kind of dipped out, probably before WrestleMania 19. So 2003. Yeah.
Were you a WWF guy, WCW guy?
My friends and I, when we got back into it, it was Nitro first. Like it was when we heard that Hogan was bad, we started watching it Nitro. And I was like, WWF is so stupid. Look at these gold dust and stuff like that. I was like, I don't want anything to do with that. And for years I didn't watch it. I think we started watching a few months before WrestleMania 15. So when WCW started getting bad, then we switched.
Yep.
We were watching both for a while, and then I think we just stopped watching WCW totally. It was before Russo got there. So I really have never seen anything that Vince did. I've seen the clips, obviously, and stuff like that, but I've never really watched a full episode of anything that he wrote or was on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to get to it eventually because I'm watching everything back in order. Like I'll watch the Raw and Nitro back to back. So I think right now I'm in January of 98. So it's taken me a while. I don't watch it that often.
So he basically started, I think it was March of 97 as the head writer for WWF. And then he left basically September of 99.
Yeah.
And then started in WCW in October of 99. And then obviously in and out of there for a bit.
Oh, I mean that I didn't watch anything Russo did at WCW.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
obviously I
some
saw.
WWF
Yeah,
stuff.
obviously I saw that. Yeah. So when everyone criticizes him for his WCW shit, like I don't know because I haven't seen it. I know the storylines, I know what happened, but I've never really watched a full episode. I went to that Spring Stampede that he returned at. Like didn't him and Bischoff come back like a week before that?
Yep, on Nitro. Yep.
Yeah, so that was here. That was at the United Center, and tickets were really cheap. Like I guess it wasn't selling, so we hadn't watched in a while, but we got good seats for like $20. So we went to it, and it just sucked. It was like a tournament, right?
Basically, yeah, and then it ended up being like the finals of the tournament, and then all the new champions ended up being crowned that day. So Jared beat DDP and became the world champion.
Yeah, for me, anything involving Jeff Jarrett, I can't watch it. I'm like, why is that guy such a focal point in this WCW now? Like, why him? There's so many other guys. Why would you pick him? He's terrible.
But you got to ask Vince. You got to ask Russo.
I don't think I've ever asked him that. I've talked about a lot of stuff with him, but never asked him that.
What's your relationship like with him now? I always see you popping in and out of his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on their Discord the other night. I've been in that a few weeks now. It's fine. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is it called. I always hear clips. I guess it's really on Get My Go, but it's clips of him. What is that? What the hell do they call that?
So are you talking about his Twitch channel when it's
yeah. Like what is that when you come in with like basically you're on his channel and you can say something, but they don't know like where it is or where it's coming from.
Okay, so it's on his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live, I think. If you go on anybody's, well, you have to be at a certain level of Twitch streamer to be able to play blurps. They're called blurps.
Blurps, okay.
Yeah, it's like I think it's 50 bits to play a blurp, and it's basically you can create your own, or there's a huge library that you can choose from. Movie clips, sound clips. Some people like to play them Rihanna, or a Rocky quote or something like that. You can make your own though. So I've made a few. Actually, I can't take credit. Somebody before me had made a couple John Wanglin clips.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know who did it, but someone has made a handful of them. So I was like, oh, I'll make some too. So I made a few Johnny Podcasting and Brother Martin clips, and I'll play him in the chat, and it just throws him off. It throws Vince off. He doesn't know what it means. So his reaction, even though it's been the same couple clips played over and over again, I'll play it for him in the thing, and he's so confused, but it's such a great reaction every time.
Does he know it's you though? Because he's saying Mike, or is he just guessing that it's you?
No, it'll say it'll say Mike Durband played
Okay.
a blurb, and then the title of the blurb. You know, so it'll be like Mike Durband played Brother Martin, epic stutter. You know.
So does he control you, or you literally can control when you go on and off of his Twitch?
He can't stop the blurb. Well, he can either turn blurps on or off, but he can't. I don't know if you can stop a certain person from doing it. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of cool,
But
though.
the thing is, he gets 50 bits every time it happens, so he's not going to turn it off. You know.
Right.
And
Yep.
people are doing it constantly throughout the night. So every time someone does that, he's making like 50 cents or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. That's just so funny, though. It could be some random quote. He's probably like, "Wait, what? What does that mean?"
Yeah. Somebody made when John did the it was like a genital rash ad that he had on the show for a short time. Someone made that a blurb, so someone will play it and it'll be like, you know, John talking about an STD. You know, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Damn, he's unintentionally. He's so funny, though. Yeah, and then that is great. You just gotta love it. You just gotta take it in stride. You gotta love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, as we hit the wind down, head towards the finish, I think I've kept you long enough talking about maybe too much GMG. I think
Yeah.
maybe too much, and not enough about you. But what's going on? What else you got planned? What else you got coming up? I know besides Charlie Chaplin's grandson, what else you got going on?
That's it. That's after I dropped that episode. I don't have anything else in the can. I think the Spencer Chaplin one. I think I did that like 3 months ago.
Wow.
I think we did that 3 months ago. I think, and then I just sit on. I'll have it in the can, and I'm always working on it. Like my shows are meticulously. What did John say? Iconically meticulous and meticulously iconic. That was 2 back-to-back episodes we had. But I really do. I know the meaning of the word. I'm very meticulous when it comes to my.
I think he was talking about action figures, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was talking about how they keep the meticulous figure in the package or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, I constantly am like for this interview, the Spencer Chaplin one. I've listened to it 6 or 7 times. I'll make notes each time, and I'll trim it down further and further. For me, the shorter the better. I cut all the fat. I cut out. I'm not a great speaker. Obviously, if anybody's listening to this entire show, I say a lot. I pause a lot. I change. In the middle of a sentence, I'll change thoughts and go somewhere else. I'm not a good speaker by any means. When I got a concussion, I was playing hockey in 2009, and I fell backwards on the ice. I fell backwards. I smacked the back of my head. I fell down like a tree, and I just smacked the back of my head on the ice, and I was out for like half a minute, they said. My friend said I didn't move, and I had a serious concussion, and after that, I have not been able to. My thoughts are scattered. I can't remember stuff. A lot of memories are gone. Like I'll see a picture and I don't know. If I see the picture, it may flash back what it was from, but I had totally forgotten about it. I don't remember names and things like that. It's pretty bad. And like math, I'm not good at math at all. Like, I went back to school like 6 or 7 years ago, and math, I'm like a little child. I can't do it. So where was I going with this? I've lost my train of thought.
You're editing what you've been up to and being meticulously
meticulous.
Editing.
So I try and keep everything as condensed as I can. I'm not a good speaker. That's what I was talking about. I go through my episodes and I take out word for word. If I fuck up or if I say, or whatever, I take it out. I'm so meticulous about that. So that's why it takes me a long time. That's why I only do 1 show a month, because I'm not going to just do an interview and then put it out. I can't do that. I'm not good like that. I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a good interviewer. I have to really, spice it up with sound clips, music in the background, things like that. So that's why it takes me a long time.
Putting a lot of effort, a lot of thought into it.
It is a lot of effort. And you know what? It's for me mostly because, if I go back in 5 years and if I listen to an episode, I don't want to hear that it was bad. I want to know that I put 150% into it. I don't want to just shit out episodes and stuff like that. I want to put all my effort into it. So, and I'm able to. I'm as bad as a host and a speaker as I am. I'm equally great at editing audio and video. So, what I lack in one area, I'm really good in the other area. So, yeah.
I gotcha.
But right now, I have nothing in the can. So what am I going to do for April? Like that's what I've been wrestling with the past 2 years. Is like I'll have a show done, and I'm like, oh well, what's next? Like I panic. Am I going to be able to get somebody for the next show? That's why I used to do it every week when I was on the brand. I did every week. I did a show. I don't know how I did it because I couldn't even think about doing that now. You know,
You
and I did it
refocused.
for free back then. Like I couldn't have a sponsor on the brand. Now I got sponsors. Joe said, if you want to do more shows, I'll get you more money. But I told him no, because I just can't, I don't have that much time to, put into making shows,
Yeah.
my show anyway. I always have time for Get My Go, but for my show, I just don't, I don't have a steady stream of guests coming in. I don't want to put out mediocre episodes. I want it to be a big name guest each time, or someone that means something to me. Like a lot of people aren't going to know who is Spencer Chaplin. Most of the people that listen to my show, they're not going to know who he is. But to me, he means a lot because he's, the descendant of an icon, and it's someone I'm a huge fan of, So,
Yeah, and just saying like the grandson, like holy shit, like I wonder what he's got to say.
yeah, he's
It's
got
good
to check
stuff.
it out, John. I want you to listen to it. You're
I
gonna
will.
hear.
I will. I want to learn
I
about
want
this.
I want you to listen to it and you'll be like, wow, Mike listened to this interview 10 times and edited 10 different times. And that's how fucking crazy he is. So, yeah.
I'm going to
spent a
say to
lot of time.
myself, Mike, just cut the damn thing up, put it out, and move on to the next one. All right, quit focusing too much on one damn podcast. You know what you should do? You should be like the next top 5 drummers of all time, and then give some examples, or top 5 bass guitar players of all time. Something like that.
I do have an idea for the top 5 or top 5 bass guitarists. I want to do it with Frankie Kazarian. And I think I could get him because, Joe's obviously got to be friendly with him. So I think Joe could make that happen. But that's who I would probably want to do that with, because he plays bass too. Frankie is a great bass player.
Forget the name of his band, but yeah, I know he was for
two.
one time.
He's got a cover band, and then he's got like a real band. So I think Gutter Candy is one of them.
I remember when he was in Ring of Honor, he was like really, really promoting it, but I haven't ever since it's been AEW. I haven't heard him promoting it at all.
Yeah,
and
I saw him on the Jericho Cruise, so he was. I don't know if he played there or he played at Starcast, but I've seen him play somewhere, and he's really good.
Are you doing the next Jericho Cruise?
No. I mean, there is the third one booked, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's sold out, though. Yeah, I think it's sold out. There is a waiting list to get on, but I don't think so. If someone else, like if one of my friends were to go on it, I would probably go on it again. But I went on the first one alone,
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of hard to walk around, and I didn't make friends there. Like, who am I going to make friends with? Everyone there is like, this is before AEW, and everyone there was like a super, Ring of Honor or, being the elite and all that. They were just those kind of fans. So I'm not going to jive with those people.
Too marky for you.
I'm not going to say that, but yeah, that's kind of, yeah, I mean, just the people that, I was listening to them talk, like waiting in a line or something, or, there was only one night when I watched the actual wrestling. They had it every day and every night, but there was only one time that I watched it. I'm just listening to these people talk, and I'm like, man, you guys are way into the shit, and it's not good,
Yep.
Like, we grew up during an era when it was fucking amazing. Like, it was so good. Those people, fans back then, I could, I'll talk with any of them and hang with them, but this group of fans now, no.
It is crazy looking back. We had the golden era of the 80s, and then somehow, maybe didn't eclipse it, but it came damn close in the 90s with the Monday Night Wars and the NWO and then Steve Austin and Vince. Man, those are the good old days.
Yeah, so good.
Now we're just old bastards.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But again, I just don't get, like, these people are so passionate about it now. Like, I'm looking on Twitter and stuff, and even this show that they had the other night with the fireworks or whatever. What happened? A bomb went off. Whatever.
Exploding barbed wire death match.
Yeah. So I'm reading. People say that it was the worst thing they've ever seen. Then there's still these people that are, waving the flag and how great it is, how great Tony Khan is. And I'm like, dude, you guys don't even know, man, how good it was back, in the 80s and then again in the 90s. Like, it's not even close.
I always laugh when they're like, this is the best ever. Oh, it's the best talent roster ever. I was like, you freaking kidding me? Hogan, Warrior, Savage, Piper. Yeah, these guys, none of them even touch, Jake. They don't even touch him. It's like, come on.
And I'm listening to, the show that Chad does, the new generation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't watch it back then live, but I've gone back and I've watched some things. And I'm listening to Chad talk about these matches and cards and things like that. And I'm like, that stuff is even way better than the stuff today. Like, I'd rather watch that stuff. It was, it's so much better than today's shit.
And they always go, oh, Russo, when he was booking WCW, was horrible. Today is so much better. I'm like, I don't know about that. Go back and watch it. I would rather see those guys with that talent roster than watch some of the stuff I see today. Because I watched AEW, maybe not by legal means, but I did watch the show. The ending, it utterly embarrassing. You almost can't come back from it. It was so bad. It was literally, and people were making fun of it, saying it was like sparklers. That's kind of what it was. And you had Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston in the middle of the ring sell it like a real bomb went off, and it was the Oklahoma City bombing or something. It was like horrible. You can't come back from that. Bad.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing. I've never seen. I think AEW's first episode of Dynamite. I watched like the first 3 or 4 segments, and I'm like, this is garbage. I can't watch this. Even though Jericho's one of my favorites of all time. I can't watch that shit. I can't watch, Jericho. No matter what he does on there, I can't watch it. It's so far beyond bad that I can't have anything to do with it.
I've been watching it every week, especially now because of the brand with the AEW review show, PJ. Like we both say, we want to get into it, and then every week it's like they tease us, and then it's like, oh God, what the fuck? Like, yeah, there's so many bad moments and bad booking, and Khan being all over the place, like on the show and stuff. It's like, dude, come on, you're a billionaire. You almost could save wrestling if you were to do it right or book it right, or maybe you don't have the talent, but do something, because WWE right now is not great. You could, I don't know, you could easily get some good fans or some good stuff going.
Yeah.
It's just not there. Swing and a miss.
Yeah. Yep.
Before we let you go, Mikey, give us all your plugs.
You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Durband, Durband, and you can follow Get My Go at Get My Go Show. Check out Get My Go on YouTube at youtube.com/getmygo. That's where every episode is. The majority of them are video episodes. Everything we've ever done is up there. There's bonus clips. There's teaser videos for some of the episodes. There's, Rad Rob's new show, GMG Superstars. You can check that out. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Mike Durband, and I have I got a lot of stuff on there. I got music performances from my years in various bands. There's Jericho's Crew stuff on there that's really good. Some of my show stuff, interviews, things like that. On Instagram, it's what is it? At Mike_Durband_show. I think that's what it is. But yeah, that's it.
Nice. Good
and
stuff.
Of course, Creative Control Network. I cannot not mention the Creative Control Network at the CC Network 1 on Twitter.
Yes. Got to give Joey a plug,
Yes.
Because he's not going to do it himself. So you got to do it.
Dude, I hate the one. Let me say one more thing is I hate when we do plugs at the end of Get My Go, because certain people will fucking go on and on and on. I'm like, give me your top 2 plugs. Don't give me everything.
He'll literally bring out the phone. Okay. Monday.
I'm not talking about Chad. Chad's got it down where he's got it memorized and he can rip it off real quick. He can just go. But there
Feeney,
are some
I'm saying. Feeney will be like, Monday. Let's see. Conan comes out Monday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's got too many plugs. He
does. He's not the only one though. There's a couple people that take too long on the plugs. Yeah.
Yes. I got you. Loud and clear. I got you. Thank you for all the time today, Mike. Really appreciate it, and keep doing what you're doing on that very decent show. Get my go.
Thank you. Thank you.